Senator Hancock, please come forward. Our Republican colleagues are in caucus, but your item is a candidate for suspense, so we can take your testimony. We'll work with you while it's on suspense. But this is SB 601 on corrections prison report card.
Right. Madam Chairman and members, SB 601 will establish a framework for providing better data about the performance of our prison system and individual prisons for policymakers and for the public. It will have, on a periodic basis, a CDCR to post on its website in an accessible format against a number of indicators that are now collected by the department through the ComStat system. This will allow us to identify problems with specific prisons and in specific areas, and also to identify, share, and replicate best practices. This is essential data. It's similar to what we do with our schools right now and can give us invaluable information to improve our systems. I thank the committee staff for working with us. They've been extremely helpful already, and we're going to continue to work with stakeholders and the committee to continue to fine-tune the bill.
Thank you, Senator Hancock. And there is some suggestion in the analysis on perhaps quarterly reporting rather than monthly would be one way to reduce costs, and there are other things that we want to discuss with you while it's on suspense.
Excellent.
But right now we'll go to your witnesses. If you want to introduce yourself, sir.
Jim Lindberg on behalf of the Friends Committee on Legislation of California on strong support.
Thank you very much. Any other testimony in favor? Is there opposition testimony? Members, this is SB 601. It is a candidate for suspense, and we'll work with the author during that time. Thank you, Senator Hancock.
Thank you very much.
We're going to return to our place on the file. Oh, Senator Corbett. Senator Corbett, you have SB 459.
Yes, it's on suspense.
Not yet, but it will be shortly.
Yes, I'm trying to speed things along. It didn't work too well earlier today.
On employment and independent contractors. Go right ahead.
Thank you very much. I will keep this brief, as this is a suspense candidate. This bill prohibits the willful misclassification of an employee as an independent contractor, and it holds consultants liable who knowingly misadvise employers on the matter, and requires that independent contractors be provided with important information about their classification. When a worker is misclassified, it affects the way California labor laws, such as minimum wage, overtime protection, workers' comp coverage, family leave, and unemployment insurance are applied to these workers. And the misclassification of workers results in a loss of payroll tax revenue and often an increased reliance on state-funded public services. The costs associated with this bill, I believe, are absorbable and can be paid by special funds. And further, to the extent this bill reduces misclassification, there will be a benefit to the general fund. So I ask for your kind consideration as this bill is on suspense, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to prove to you that it's a good candidate to come off suspense.
Thank you, Senator Corbett. And it is the enforcement costs that we want to work with you on. We'll go to your witnesses now.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Mitch Seaman with the California Labor Federation in support.
Thank you. Any other witnesses in favor? Is there opposition? Opposition to SB 459. Come on up, please, and give us your statement.
Madam Chair, Chris McKaylee on behalf of the Messenger Courier Association of America and California Grocers Association. We raise the same policy concerns that we presented to Senator Lieu in his Labor Committee a few weeks back. While we do not support willful misclassification or conduct of third parties, we believe that the bill imposes additional requirements and burdens on the business community without any corresponding benefit, without clarifying the law as it relates to independent contractor versus employee.
Thank you. Next, please.
Jennifer Brewer on behalf of the California Chamber of Commerce, and we also are not opposed to going after the underground economy or the willful misclassification of employees. However, the problem is that we don't even have an agreement amongst state agencies as to what qualifies as an independent contractor, and so if the state agencies can't agree on it, we have a problem with holding employers responsible for the misclassification of independent contractors, and so on that front, I disagree that it will potentially reduce misclassification of independent contractors until we get an objective test that all state agencies can agree upon, and so we're concerned with that, and for those reasons we oppose.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And any other testimony? Members, this is a candidate for suspense, so it will go there, and Senator Corbett will work with you in the meantime.
Thank you very much.
All right, members, we are back to Senator Rubio's item, SB 531. His first item was sent to the floor under Rule 28.8. Senator Rubio's 531, search warrants and HIV testing. Is there public testimony in favor? Is there opposition testimony? Seeing none, the item goes to suspense. Senator Blakesley has SB 370 on net energy metering. Net energy metering for electricity. Testimony in favor? Opposition? Seeing none, that item goes to suspense. Senator DeSaulnier has 5 items. He has waived suspense on all. First is SB 429, before and after school programs. Is there testimony in favor? Come on up. SB 429 by Senator DeSaulnier. Getting your exercise. And
running so we can keep the committee moving. Rand Martin on behalf of the California After School Coalition. We, in support of the bill, we appreciate why the analysis reached a suspense recommendation. We would like to point out from our perspective that this is really a policy matter. The funds are appropriated. The funds will be spent regardless of whether this bill is adopted or not. It simply provides flexibility to the recipients of the grant when they do receive those grants, but would not change whether it would be spent or not.
Thank
we
you.
hope you'll reach the same conclusion when you deal with suspense.
We'll
Thank
definitely look at your point, Mr. Rand. Thanks.
Madam Chair, Chris McKaylee on behalf of the California Alliance of Boys and Girls Club in similar support of the measure. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to Senator DeSaulnier's SB 429? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. It goes to suspense. Next is SB 551, having to do with state tidelands. Testimony in favor? Opposed? That item also goes to suspense. Next, by Senator DeSaulnier, is SB 616, Medi-Cal grants. Is there testimony in favor or opposed? And then that item will go to suspense. SB 776, same author, Workforce Investment Boards. And in favor or opposed? You can tell us.
Opposed in its current form, Madam Chair and members. Jennifer Mitchell with the California Workforce Association. We believe the bill in its current form would have unintended consequences. We are working with the author's office. We are working with the sponsors. We believe we will come to an agreement.
All righty. We can continue that discussion while it's on suspense. And finally, by Senator, did you have a comment? All righty.
Should I?
Okay. Thank you. Beg your pardon. Finally, by Senator DeSaulnier is SB 803, California Youth Leadership. Testimony in favor? Opposition? Seeing none, that item goes to suspense. Senator Calderon has SB 457, Workers' Compensation and Liens. Testimony in favor? Opposed? That item will go to suspense. Senator Lowenthal has SB 517 on high-speed rail authority. Is there testimony in favor? Opposition? That item goes to suspense. We have finally by Senator Price, SB 789 on public school performance. 789, I think there's some testimony here. Come on up.
Afternoon, Madam Chair. Andrew Keller on behalf of the Alameda County Office of Education, Alliance for Arts Learning Leadership and Support.
In support. Already, thank you. That's SB 789. Any opposition? Seeing none, that item goes to suspense. Members, that completes the items that presentation was waived. We still have several for votes. Senator Steinberg, the California Transportation Commission, a state claims bill by me, and a continuing ed bill. And that's it. But we need to have our Republican members to vote on those. They need to. They all do pass.
But you haven't. They're not on call. You haven't.
They are not on call. They haven't been heard yet.
Got it. I hear a door. let them establish a quorum, and then I'll come back with you when you're ready. Because it might not be just 20.
That's right. All right, so we'll recess and hopefully,
By 3 o'clock.
I'm not going to do it until so we'll put this together.
Yep.
We are still tied up with caucus, so the Senate Committee on Appropriations will recess briefly and will be called back into order when we have a full roster of members, okay?